able to make it from all around the world. It is always so exciting to see all the countries, um, starting to trickle in. Escondido, I actually grew up in Escondido. Hello from SF. Chicago, welcome. We are so thrilled that you are here. I'm very excited for you all to hear from Tevin today. He is such an expert. All right, I see the number of people starting to join is starting to slow down a little bit. So let's get started. Again, welcome to our webinar, Meet Notion. Today, we'll be giving you a tour of Notion and share how you can use it to do your best work faster. My name is Anya, and I'm on the marketing team here at Notion. I'll kick things off here, and then I'll hand it off to Tevin, who will be giving you the tour of Notion. Do you want to come on and say hi before we get into the agenda?
Hi, look forward to working with you all today, giving you the tour.
I am equally excited for you to all learn from Tevin. He is truly amazing. As promised, here is a quick agenda. We'll start with some housekeeping and then continue with an overview of Notion and what it can do for your team. After that, we will show you a fully built out Notion workspace. Onto our housekeeping, and I promise to keep this quick because this is not what you came for. First, we will absolutely send you the webinar recording. Whether you're joining us now live or watching this at a later date, you can expect to receive the email with the recording around this time tomorrow. The next thing, please use the Q&A for any questions you'd like to ask us and the chat for everything else. We love hearing from you, and using the right tab for Q&A or chat ensures that we see your thoughts and questions. We'll be following up with answers to all of your questions. Just please make sure it's in the Q&A so we can email you later. And finally, in the spirit of hearing your feedback, we will have a survey at the end of this webinar. I'll launch it during the last minute or so, and I would love to hear what you want to see in future webinars, along with any feedback you may have for us. That's it from me. Promised I'd keep it short, so I'll pass it over to you, Tevin.
Thank you so much, Anya. Everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to learn a little bit more about Notion. I know your days are busy, so we really appreciate you taking the time to learn more. So today we're going to walk you through what is Notion and how does Notion help others within the connected workspace community. So Notion's all about connecting work and knowledge. The problem that we see every day is companies are facing SaaS sprawl. When I think of SaaS sprawl, I want you to think about the 30 different fitness apps you have, the 30 different meditation apps you have, so many different tools to solve a single problem. And when we talk about SaaS sprawl, that's docs and note apps, multiple project tools, new AI, there's search apps, because no one can find anything. What that ends up being is it wastes precious time, budget, and talent. When we see teams using a single purpose, rigid SaaS fragment tool, what ends up happening is we hear, it's too many apps, I can't find anything, let me ask someone. There's no ability to collaborate, there's no visibility, and teams end up duplicating work. With Notion, you can eliminate that SaaS sprawl by connecting all your company's work within one place. Now, the reason why teams choose Notion is because it's one flexible workspace that connects all knowledge, work, and teams together. And from this, you'll be able to see 3 different levels. The first is the individual level. So that's your to-dos, your personal goals, your own dashboard, and that's the team level. What is happening in my team on a day-to-day basis, and how do we make sure that we're on track with sprints, meetings? What's the resource library for someone that's onboarding? And then what's the overall team's goals? And then you have your company, right? What is the strategy of that company? What are the policies of that company? What are some of the directories, the roadmaps, onboarding, and vision? You'll be able to do all that within Notion, where you typically need multiple tools to accomplish that one task. You can save time by creating and organizing all knowledge and connect your existing tools. So maybe you're very Slack heavy. Maybe you want to add your Figma in there. Maybe you want to do your PDFs. Within Notion, you can connect all of those resources together so your team doesn't have to context switch to find different information. Now, something that we hear today is this buzzword, AI. And a lot of teams are thinking about, how do we utilize AI in a strategic way, in a way that empowers my team and doesn't slow down? With Notion, you can move faster with AI that finds answers instantly across your apps and completes tasks. The one thing that I really love about Notion is you have your your very generative AI, which has helped me write this email, come up with this document, help me sound nicer. And that's kind of your day-to-day workflow, right? Kind of your assistant to just help you write better. And then there's a second aspect of Notion, and really that's that retrieval AI. And that's where you can say, hey, help me write this code, search your Slack instance, search your Google Drive, and then you'll be able to find those PDFs. And then it'll direct you directly to those sources within Notion. There's this movie called like Limitless, and every time I talk about Notion, it helps me think about the more knowledge you add, the more powerful you and your team become, and you'll all be able to access that information faster via AI. Now, by consolidating all your tools and your knowledge, you're also able to lower SaaS costs and increase efficiency by consolidating common workflows, projects, goals, processes. You no longer have to have a different tool or a point solution to solve one particular problem. Notion can do that all. So your Zendesk tickets can go in there, your GitHub can go in there, Salesforce integration coming soon. And then you also have your Notion calendar to make sure that your team is focused on strategic priorities as opposed to context switching. Now, Notion is very flexible, and that's why teams love Notion. It adapts to each team's use case, and so there's no new SaaS for each new use case, and there's more collaboration. I really love this chart because it kind of paints a picture of what Notion does for individual teams. I'm going to bring this up and pause on here so you can kind of take a look to see some of the use cases that we solve. Legal and finance are typically in a different tool. Within Notion, they can do legal requests, company reporting, resource planning. The people team are typically in a different tool. Within Notion, they can do onboarding and company intranet, and then product and design, user research, roadmaps, OKRs, code and design guidelines, and even like eng trackers. And now you notice there's multiple different teams, but because Notion is flexible, they're all able to work in a way that fits their needs, but it keeps all that information that they're working on within one hub. Millions have adopted this new way to work. Affirm they were able to save $200K by cutting back on apps and seats, utilizing Notion. Remote was able to reduce the time searching, and they were able to onboard employees quicker. And then Toyota, they were able to increase their workflows by 3 times. I know sometimes we throw workflow out, but what does that mean? The way I think about it is how much can you do in a few amount of clicks, right? And Toyota was able to do that. They're able to get work faster because they're not context switching. And then you'll see some other companies that we work with, Uber, OpenAI, Headspace, and they all utilize Notion to move faster. So it's demo time. I'm going to give you a tour of Notion, and we're going to kind of walk through the lens of what a day in day looks like of Notion. So the first thing we want to do is talk about what Notion is. I want you to think of Notion kind of like a virtual building, right? And on that virtual building, we have these called team spaces, but you can think of them like virtual floors. So you have your design floor, your engineering floor, and your product floor. But before we do that, we want to go to the main floor. What does a team member see when they first join the company? So I'm going to take you to the company homepage. When you get to this homepage, you're going to be able to see important resources for your team and the company. Such things like the annual planning doc, the mission, the vision, the values, getting started, recent press releases, and then even things like requesting an office badge, right? And then if you want to have someone come in and understand what does the engineering team do, what does the marketing team do, you can have that here. You can even set it up so you can create some visibility to the executive team. In this instance, you have a Q&A where they can answer questions in regards to product, marketing, or like executive. And then you can even embed your YouTube. So maybe your CEO just did a recent like video or a recent speech and you want to connect that to this hub, they'll be able to see that as well. Maybe any press releases that are like going to be important, maybe a new product launch, you'll be able to see that as well. And then you'll be able to, if you have global offices, you'll be able to have like the different locations and just different workflows for those offices. You can add in things like the engineering focus pillars. So what are the engineering teams working on? And then the social media calendar, right? Maybe there's a product launch that's getting ready to happen or something really important to the company and you want to have a social boost, you can add that there so teams understand what's important to them. And then you'll also have the company OKRs. What is the company working on? What's on track? What's at risk? What's blocked? So you'll be able to get a high overview of some of the things that are going to be trending within the company. So now, we entered the virtual main floor. Now we're going to go to the product floor. So this is where a product team member that just onboarded or someone that just came back from vacation can come to this wiki and understand what does the product team do, what are the guide and processes, and I'll walk you through what this looks like on a day-to-day basis. So maybe someone just joined, where to find us, Slack channel, product specialist. You want to understand what's launching at my company, right? You'll be able to see all the projects that are going to be important to this particular team. And the same thing is going to happen for Eng, and the same thing is going to happen for design. And then maybe you want to onboard your team quicker so they can focus on like velocity. So then you can say how to launch a feature, product interviews, how to conduct user research. And again, this is connected knowledge. So any information that is happening, whether someone is going on vacation, whether someone is new to the company, all that's going to be nested here. You'll also be able to have your team leads. So who's responsible for growth, who's responsible for web, who's responsible for like API, their contact information that allows you to understand who's driving the initiatives for the product team. And then you also have your charts so you can visualize data in a way that's going to be meaningful. The reason why I love this is because, oftentimes we're working with teams who want to create a way for the teams to move faster and quicker without all the approval processes. And being able to have something like this ready for QA, needs review, risk, allows your team to solve problems without red tape. You're also able to add in some of the analytics that are going to be important to you and your team. So Amplitude, Snowflake, Hex, and then for Eng team, if you want to add in like Zendesk tickets, et cetera, you'll be able to do that. Now, imagine someone just joined your team and they want to get up to speed as quick as possible. And they want to understand, what is the product team working on? Where can I contribute? You'll be able to do all of this just by nesting your meetings. So anything that's happening in product, you'll be able to create a database, which is simply just a record of collections. And you'll be able to deep dive into these and understand where can we contribute, what's recurring meetings, what's new, etc. So that's just the product wiki, team floor, that homepage, kind of what is the product team driving and how can I help? Now, we're going to go on to OKRs. Again, this is still nested under that product floor, but now you can start to understand at a high level, what is the product team driving, or what is the Eng team driving, and how is that helping the overall company's objectives? In this case, execute upmarket to motion to enterprise. And what we're responsible for here is to build security features for the IT buyer persona, right? And then from there, we can tell if it's on track. I really love this feature, and a lot of product leaders that we're speaking with, they like this feature because the team can really understand what they're contributing to the overall company mission. A lot of times, employees are a lot happier and team members are a lot happier when they understand what results are they driving on a day-to-day basis. So let's talk about the product team key results. What's important to this particular product team? And as you look into it, you can tell one of the objectives and how it ties into Grow Notion's global footprint for sustained long-term growth. We're responsible for that as a product team. And one of the core drivers is drive the adoption of advanced features by 15%. As you can see, it's about 40% complete. So if I wanted to deep dive and understand how I can contribute or who's responsible for that product, you'll be able to quickly open this up and you'll be able to see what are the objectives they're connected to. If you want to add AI in there to summarize what's the core objectives of this, you'll be able to do that. And maybe you have some like global teams. You're also able to add some translations in there utilizing the AI. You can have your strategic alignment, expected impact of this particular project. And then as the project like updates, I'll give you an example of this. You can see it's planning. You can see it's at 40%. When we click done, you're going to see that actually changes. So it gives you high visibility as to what's being completed on like a day-to-day basis. So if you do need to drill into something, for an example, monitor feature uses metrics blocked, you can drill into it and understand why it's being blocked. So I'm going to continue to move on. And then what I want to highlight, and something that's particularly important to teams that are shipping products and launching products and want to make sure they maintain velocity, is being able to get a high level overview of what's ready to ship, what's being blocked, and how can I make sure that I remove as many blockers as possible. So if you want to nest that within your product page and you want to create a culture where your team can get in there and tackle things and remove those roadblockers, you'll be able to do that. And then you also have different views. So if you just want to filter by things that are blocked, and maybe you have someone designated on the team that's specifically designed to make sure that products move along, this is where they'll be able to access that. So we're going to continue moving on, and now we're going to go through projects. As we go through the projects, you're able to look at everything that the product team is going to be working on. And then from there, you'll be able to have, the things that are going to be important to you and your team. The one thing that I hear often from product and eng teams is there's long QA cycles, there's extended testing periods that slow down development, there's duplicative tracking, multiple systems tracking like the same information. And a lot of times teams have to go to multiple different apps to update it. Within Notion, you're able to do all of that within one place and manage all of those products or all of those projects and products that you're launching. You're able to filter it by status, by timeline, to give you a view on if you're running up to any roadblocks, new ideas in submissions, and then you have my projects. I really like this tab for a couple reasons. There's going to be times where you want to empower your team to just get in there and do their work, and you want to make sure that Notion is easy to use. Notion allows your team to get in there, understand the tasks that are assigned to them, which we have in a homepage, and be able to do their work immediately, which frees up a lot of time for them searching on what projects they need to do. So in this case, let's look into the Chartlons. I'm curious, Anya just recently is the owner of this particular project. I've just been brought on to understand, how can we make this product launch quicker? So you can go in here and then you can start understanding, what's marquee to this project, what's important. You have like your meeting notes that's relevant. And you also have your buttons here. I like to think of buttons like a if then. If I push this button, then this will happen. In this case, it's going to create a new task. For example, maybe I want to report a new bug. You're able to go in there, create a bug, and it's going to be consistent amongst every single team member. So if anyone wants to report a bug, you're able to templatize processes that normally take a while to complete. So as I'm going into this product, I want to get a quick overview of what is happening. What are we building? Why are we building it? From here, I'm able to add in all of my my Figma, my Fig boards, and understand what's driving that initiative. And then you have when's the team dev release, when's the alpha release, when's the beta release, and then who's actually building this? Why are we building this, right? So again, this gives your teams that you bring on as you're moving to launch these products. Why is this important? And again, it ties back to those overall company OKRs. And then you have tasks that are going to be related to this project. I'll open this up so we can look. We have 99 to-dos, we have 57 in progress, and we have 58 complete. And you'll be able to understand where all these tasks are coming from one single database that helps you and your team decide on like what to unblock and how to move quicker. You're also able to have different views in here. So maybe we're working on certain timelines. Maybe we have like current current sprints that we need to make sure that the technical architecture planning is done. And then maybe we have some untriaged feedback that we need to like work on. You'll be able to assign individuals to this, when's the due date, and then you're even be able to say what phase of this. Is it the development phase? Is it the review Q&A? Is this post-launch? So it just helps your team quickly identify what stage it is in. And then as we go down, you'll be able to have some just key information in here. So the glossary, maybe you're building something and you want to have a standardization of the way that it is termed within the company. So you want to have dashboard, donut chart. What does that mean? What does customization mean? You can have the latest project updates. And again, you can create a button so that the same information is consistent amongst different teams. And then you can have like the key docs. So maybe the charts weekly, planning and review docs, anything that's going to be important to the launch of this product, you'll be able to have that all nested within this particular charts launch project. And then we have milestones, right? So you have your pre-validation, your kickoff, your development. So anyone that's coming in, they can look at a high level to understand what results needs to be driven, where's my team blocked, and how can I make sure that I unblock them? And you'll be able to do all that from one page. And last but not least, I want to walk you through what it looks like for someone to join the company and they have questions. Maybe they just came back from vacation as well. So we're going to walk through those use cases. So let's just go back to the home page. And I just want to ask our company policy. What is the Lumi Labs PTO policy? And it's going to think for a little bit, and it's going to give you an answer. So not only does it give me accurate information, but it'll also let me know where that information lives. So part-time employees accrue vacation on a pro rata basis. Additionally, Lumi Lab offers flexible like work environment. So you'll be able to find that. Now, maybe I just came back from vacation and I want to get up to speed as quickly as possible. Then I want to ask my next question. What is the status of the AI feature updates project? And as it's thinking, it's pulling that information from everything that is connected to your Notion instance. So in this case, I understand that the AI feature update project is currently on track. The project is part of Q2 initiatives and it's aimed at boosting cross-platform productivity. But I need a little bit more information. So let's ask Notion AI, any other risk or blockers to this project to be aware of? And so now it's parsing all that information that you have so you can make decisions a lot quicker. There's no more shoulder tapping that you need to do. There's no more going to different tools to understand. And in this case, it pulls up, yes, there are several potential risks and blockers identified for AI-related projects at Lumi Labs. There's technical challenges in AI integration. Where's that documented at? You'll be able to quickly, hit this button and it'll direct you to where it pulled that source from, and then resource constraints, including possible insufficient expertise in AI technology. It will pull that as well. But I did come back and I saw that charts launched successfully. I know there was a lot of individuals that were responsible for helping launch charts successfully and help others visualize data in a beautiful way. What I want to do now is I want Notion AI, please write a Slack update for me to share on the success of our charts launch. And please make sure you call out the individuals who worked on this project to congratulate them and thank them for their hard work. And so now what it's doing is finding all of that information that we saw earlier in that charts launch. And it's writing me something. And then from there, you can open up the page. And just like that, you have your charts launch success update. Exciting news. I'm thrilled to announce that we successfully completed our charts. It's making sure that all your team members' work is being recognized. It lets you know exactly what did charts launch, what was in there. So donut, bar and line, customization, and then a special thanks to everyone who contributed to the user testing and provided feedback. And that's the potential of Notion AI. With that being said, we'd love to open it up to questions. If you have anything.
Yes, we will be following up with questions, but I will start to wrap up just because I know we are running out of time and I want to make sure that we are being mindful and respectful of your time. Tevin, thank you so much for showing us what Notion can do. This has been so wonderful. I love the AI demo. I personally use Notion AI all the time. And thank you all for joining this webinar. A few things to wrap up. Again, a quick reminder, if you have any questions, please add them to the Q&A tab and we'll be sure to follow up with you shortly. The Q&A tab is just 2 tabs over from the chat, and that is how we're going to follow up. So please do use that Q&A tab. Secondly, if you are interested in trying out Notion for your company or team, please click the link in the Docs tab and we will make sure to reach out. And finally, I am going to launch the survey now. Let me do that. All right. Please do fill this out so we can hear your thoughts and feedback and continue to improve these webinars for you. I always love reading through your feedback, so please share any and all ways that we can improve these webinars. That's all from us. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. I know your time is really valuable, so I appreciate you spending your morning or evening or afternoon with us. Have a great rest of your day.